Hey guys, let's get into it. Again, my name is Mr. Luke M. Brooks. Welcome to Car Share Genius. So I was going to do a live, but YouTube's not letting me do a live yet. And let me tell you why. It's because we got to get more subscribers. So guys, if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We definitely need that so we can do lives. I want to do more information, get it out to you, and put it out. So today, I'm going to get right to the point. I want to talk about how to get yourself started into a car sharing rental company. Now, this is going to be universal because it doesn't matter if you're doing Turo, rent a car, hire a car, whoever it may be. I'm going to talk about the basics that you need to be aware of, some general basics. So let's start off with the first thing. You got to have a car, guys. You got to have a car. The main reason you got to have a car is is going to be your vehicle, literally, to making passive to semi-passive income. One thing that I will point out is that your vehicle has to be reliable. You don't want to have a vehicle that's constantly breaking down, constantly having issues. Now, will vehicles have issues? Yes, vehicles will have issues. It's your job as the maintainer is to make sure you have people who can make sure these cars are taken care of. Now, with me, with my course, I show people how to do this remotely. I'm currently living in another country, making money, doing this simple strategy. And I'm welcome to share this with all of you. Link will be down below. But anyway, you want to make sure the car is reliable. You want to make sure the vehicle has everything that it needs to have running. Registration, tags up the par, inspections done, tires are good, no major issues that's going to affect the safety of the vehicle. So you don't want a car with bad brakes out there. You don't want a car that's going to have a messed up radiator. You don't want a car that's going to have messed up shocks and so on. You want to make sure these things are right. The next thing you want to make sure is to check the age of the vehicle. Reason being, depending on what platform you go on, they may look at the age and the mileage of the vehicle as far as the threshold. You want to make sure that you meet both. So, for example, Turo is looking at cars that's not older than 12 years old when you enroll. Now, your car, like for me, I have a Dodge Charger, it's 2011. So, it's past that 12-year marker, but I put that vehicle on over a year ago. So, it's still qualified. Now, they're not looking at the manufacturer date, they're looking at the year. So, a 2011 Dodge Charger or a 2015 Ford Focus or so forth. They're looking at that. And then the mileage. You want to make sure the mileage is good. So for Turo, going off what I've learned, is that the vehicle cannot reach past 130,000 miles when you first register it. So your vehicle is going to go past. I got vehicles that got past those miles. But the thing is, you're not having an issue where they're pulling those vehicles off. But you know that when you start off, you're good to go. Like I had vehicles start off at 50,000. Now they're in the 100,000 mile range right now. You just got to keep track. Another thing, since we're talking about tracking, is that you may need to get GPSs on your vehicle. It may be a requirement. I would tell you something. As a person who's been doing this for over 4 years, you definitely want to have a vehicle that is going to have GPS on it. That's the worst feeling to have. I could tell you that right now. I had a situation before I even started this car business where I lent that Dodge Charger that I'm talking about to a friend to put in storage when I was going to Sasebo, Japan for the Navy. And the person said they dropped the car off at the place that the car was supposed to be stored at. Long story short, they did not do any of that. That vehicle was in their possession. They were driving around for about 3 months, vehicle with no insurance, vehicle that could have been an accident. And it did have some slight damages. And it was crazy. Called the company, called Dodge. The vehicle that I had at the time didn't have GPS. It was the next year's model that had the GPS built into the vehicle, meaning that you can track it. This is a lifesaver. This is going to keep peace of mind. You can track the speed. Now, what I use is Bouncy. I use Bouncy because the reason being is that when you have Bouncy, you are able to track the speed of the vehicle, if there's any check engine lights, if there's a battery issue. You can even plug in your maintenance that you need to get done. So when it's triggered by mileage or by time, you will be known able to take care of that. You can do geofencing. So if your vehicle is not supposed to be in a certain area, you got the alert or it's coming back in, or it's going out of the state, you have the alert. This is something I use and it helped me all the time. Another one that I would recommend is Zuby. Turo offers a package for this one right here, like a discount package, like a contract. If you do this, I think it's $7.99. But with Bouncy, they offer you a discount as well too. Bouncy allows you to have multiple products with them. So if you got a fleet of 5 or 6 or whatever, they will give you a discount for each one going in there. One more that I'm gonna show you is Optimus. Optimus is my go-to. So what I do, I have a rule of two. I always have two GPSs because it's something that I learned in the Navy when we're driving ships or whatnot, because I'm a surface warfare officer, is that when something fails, just say you have something that fails, you not that's not the only single thing you're relying on because you're out in the middle of the ocean. The same thing should be said about your GPSs. If your GPSs go out, or for example with the Bouncy and the Zuby, these GPSs go through your OBD box, your onboard diagnostic system. Anyone can go in there and plug it. Where they plug in the machine when they check your engine and check everything, check all the codes when you do your inspection. That piece right there, they can unplug it and it tell you that it's disconnected or been tampered with. With Optimus, you can do various things. You can have it where it's the brick that's wireless. You can stick it anywhere inside the car. No one would think about looking for that. Or you can hook it on the battery. It's various things that you can do. So it's up to you on what you want to do. I'm stressing upon this because you definitely want to have it. Sometimes the insurance companies will want to know, do you have GPS? So when they're tracking things, you want to make sure that you can have proof that, hey, this vehicle is where it's supposed to be or not supposed to be. Another thing, since we're talking about is insurance. When I started this out with Turo, I was okay. I was with Allstate. And then Allstate was like, hey, you can't have a vehicle being rented out. So they dropped me. But there's other insurance companies that are friendly towards hosts who rent their cars out. And this is ABX. And then you're dealing with other ones that they used to have. I think it was Router X or whatnot, or ABI. I use Tent, to be honest with you. And Tent offers a low discount. Now, with this in mind, with Tent, the catch with these insurances, you can't just drive your car lolly dolly. And if you know for sure that, hey, these cars are not going to be driven after a customer pickup, I'm just going to take it for maintenance. I'm going to truly treat this car as a money maker versus I'm going to drive it sometimes, I want to drive it here, then that's no problem. With Tent, or with most of these, they limit your miles to 300 miles a month in the vehicle. And it's for places where the vehicle is supposed to do business. So, for example, I tell one of my drivers to go ahead and take the car for oil change, and God forbid they get in an accident. Well, it will be covered. Another thing is that, hey, if they're going to get tires or any type of thing that dealt with operations of work, not, hey, I'm going to go out to the movie theater at 11 o'clock at night, I'm going to go to the gym in the morning, things like that. That's where it's going to be suspect, and you can possibly not get your deductible taken care of. Now, you say, wait a minute, Luke, you're talking about insurance protection plans. I'm about to get there. The insurance is meant for the vehicle when the vehicle is not on a trip. And they can verify, all these insurance companies can verify by looking at the time, looking at the check in, check out, GPS. They can say, hey, that vehicle was not on a trip. So it goes in that range. Now, on the other end of this is protection plans. You have your 90, I believe your 80, 75, and 60. And these are percentages. So the higher percentage, that means the more money you get, but a higher deductible comes with that too. So we'll drop that down in there. But bottom line short, you want to make sure you got the right protection plan that's going to help you out. With the lowest one here, this means that at the end of the day, or we go to the highest one, at the end of the day here, you bring home 90% of the money. Turo only gets to take away 10%. They take away 20%. They take away, we got 20 here. They take away their percentage from here, and then they take away 40 from here. They take away 25 from here. I don't know why my brain is going everywhere, but it's been a wild day. But you got to base that off your comfort level. For me, honestly, If I'm doing all this work with the cars and doing all the maintenance, I can't say this is pretty smart to do. I've used this right here. If your money's big and you got pockets, you can take care of it. And the reason being is that if you get an accident, your deductible is probably going to be about $1,500 for them to even do anything. So it's got to reach the threshold. So I don't do that. If I was to do this, this would have to be a vehicle of luxury brand right here, and I would have to have a lot of money laying around, which that's not how I operate with my model. I think that you should have your money used in the proper way, not just sitting around, not sitting in the bank. It needs to be moving. That's how you make money. So another thing that I will talk about that you need to have is Chat GPT or Copilot. Okay, these are AI. The reason being is some of us get hot headed. I'm one to admit that I do get hot headed when it comes to guests. What happens is this: when I get hot headed, you know how you want text, you're texting with emotion, you're missing sentences, you're not putting the periods in the right area, you're everywhere. I would tell Chat GPT what's happened, and this comes with reviews with customers because at the end of the day, you are supposed to be customer friendly. This is how you continue to make sales because at the end of the day, there have been guests or actually hosts in these Facebook groups talking about they don't know why they got kicked out, but then when you see what they wrote, you say that's why you got kicked out. You threatening someone in a message. You can't threaten no one, no matter how crazy these customers may get. You got to keep your cool. You got to be the cool one in the situation because you don't know these customers. Some customers are just not there, but you got to be the cool one. I would tell Chat GPT to write a rebuttal to a review because you can write your review if you want to, and that's up to you. But not only that, I have them drop up messages, add my emojis and everything. And I have a script in my course where I teach you how to write these messages where you don't have to figure out, oh, what do I exactly say. I have everything broken down from dropping off the vehicle from the airport, from going to pick up the vehicle to unlocking the car, all those things and much, much more to get you started because we don't have time. I will tell you this: when you're doing message automation, you don't have time to be on your phone all the time answering 25 cars or 30 cars. You got to have stuff built in so it can apply to your vehicles and you ain't constantly doing this. Now, it's going to be times you will be talking to your guests, but that's a good thing where you're just giving them extra information. They say, hey, how much gas do I put in there, or what type of gas I put in there? Can you advise me if I can extend? That's a human conversation, not a machine conversation. But 90% of the time, you're using automation. I will also tell you this as well too. Make sure the car is clean. It must be clean. You can't give a customer dirty cars. I had a situation a couple of months back with my staff. I told them like, "Hey man, these cars cannot be dirty." We found crazy stuff in the vehicle. I'm looking at my staff and I say, "Well, there would be corrections." And as we speak now, on this day, that we have made corrections to that policy right there. If a car is dirty, whatever platform you're on, a customer can use that as leverage. The name of the game is not to have leverage on you. You want your guests to have a good time. They want to have the experience, no matter how old your car. If your car's looking great, just like my Dodge Charger, as long as you're keeping it clean, it's been well maintained, it's not falling off, you're good. You just have to keep that mindset going forward with your team. And I want to show you how to do that too. It's also down below in the description about that. You have to have a car clean. My recommendation is this: if you got more than, I'll say, two cars, you got to have a detailer company, whether they come to your location or you go to a service where they do it and you get a monthly unlimited package. Do it. I use Autobell since I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it helps me where my guys, I don't have to worry about my guys cleaning the car because Autobell will clean it. One thing I would tell my guys is this: make sure you look over the car. Make sure you look over the car because when you're looking over the car, it may be something that Autobell missed. That's the time where you can say, hey, you missed a spot. And not being funny. Some people think that's being crazy, but at the end of the day, we're the people who are buying a service, and the service is supposed to be good. So I usually go for a basic wash and a basic uh, vacuum of the interior. And that's what you need. Now, if it comes to something really dirty like smoke and stuff like that, that's a whole different video. And I will talk about that. But the main thing I want to talk about here is just the basic guides that what you need to have to get yourself started. Additionally, you want to make sure that you have a computer. You definitely need a computer. I won't even write that on. I will not insult your intelligence. If you try and do this all on your cell phone, you're wrong. I'm not saying you can't use your cell phone, but there are some things that you got to sit down at the desk and get everything laid out. You want to make sure that you have a calendar. I use Google for my calendar. I use that because I can sync everyone up on my team on what's going out and what's coming in. And that's right. What we're talking about here is working as a group or a team to get this in the right direction. We're not talking about doing this individually. Now, when you start off with one car, yeah, maybe you can do that, maybe two cars, but once you get three, four, you get a dozen cars, you're gonna have to have a team. And depending on how big you're operating in your area, you want to be moving very quickly because the whole thing is about scaling. We want you to scale. I don't want you to sit there and be stuck years after years. Like, hey, I'm stuck with the same cars. You want to be able to expand. So, guys, I hope that this helps you out. This is short. I didn't want this to be too long. This was meant to be live. Again, this is talking about the car, the age, the mileage, the GPSs, the insurance protection plans, automation messages, making car cards clean, and making sure you put stuff on the calendar. If you have any questions or any comments, please drop them down below. Again, what are you doing? If you're a Turo host right now and starting out, what are you doing right now to get yourself in the right direction? And how many cars you got? Drop that down below. And if you enjoy what we talked about, or what I actually talked about, because ain't no one here, make sure you just drop a comment down below and make sure you give me some likes and make sure you subscribe and spread the message. Till then, guys, I'll talk to you later. Don't forget that there's actually a course that you can check out down in the description that gets you the A to Z. I actually run it, and this is what I've been doing to make close to 6 figures. On you guys. Take the time, check it out.